This is Earl Amin with the 2024 Site Podcast, where CEOs of small to global companies share their insights. It is 6 questions in 9 minutes because top CEOs know how to listen and be concise. So let's get to it. First of all, welcome. And in just a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Thank you very much, Earl. Thank you for welcoming me to your podcast. My name is Kirill Savrassov, and I run a specialist ILS company called Phoenix CRetro. We are doing introduction of insurance-linked securities practices to the countries of the former Soviet Union and Central and Eastern Europe, as well as trying to offer several types of catastrophic natural disaster protection for the critical transit infrastructure of the well-known Chinese Belt and Road Initiative. So there we are.
All right. Well, tell me, what's the best thing about being the CEO of your company?
Well, being a CEO, it is something which brings quite bigger level of flexibility from a general employee, but also with the flexibility, the same high level of responsibility comes into the place. So I would say that for me personally, I mean, it's probably a bit of a character, is have relatively wider options for flexibility for delivering the goals and developing the company. But at the meantime, I fully realize that it's very important to care about who work for you and to care about overall development. So responsibility comes together with flexibility.
Indeed, indeed. And that's very true, as I hear from other CEOs that are leading their team. Many of them say that being able to see the road ahead, to be able to identify challenges, can be quite difficult. What are your thoughts?
Yes, it is always difficult. And I mean, it can be very well compared to be a skipper on a ship. You have to take into the mind and you have to take into considerations many different factors, and these would be not only tactical issues or tactical moves, but you also have to have some strategic vision as well as understanding of how the overall situation is developing in your sector, in your area, in your industry, macroeconomically, and globally. So you have to keep all these things in mind all together in order to take weighted decisions, because you basically you are the end of executive decision making in your company. So if you're a couple of levels below this, you have your supervisor to guide you or to take responsibility for you. But if you're CEO, you basically don't have anybody after you, a part of shareholders. So you need to take really weighted decisions with all strings attached to this.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. And out of all of that, what piece of insight would you like to share with other CEOs?
Well, I think that it is fundamentally important for those people who are running companies to participate in various types of global endeavors. And I would say that having cooperated with some multinational agencies, like United Nations, for example, there are a couple of initiatives which can be realized only in case if any executive people in power will join their forces and only that global multiplicating effect will allow situation to change. And it comes for all sorts of endeavors. I mean, particularly where we are active, it is things like Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction, or covering or closing the coverage, the insurance gap in insurance, which is a gap between insured risks and those risks which are really actually happened due to natural disasters. But obviously, there are lots of other projects and other endeavors which can be made and which can be realized only in case of virtually each and every CEO of whatever size of a company first will understand the rationale behind this, and second will do proactive steps to implement this within his company, and therefore only multiplication effect will work.
Indeed. Indeed. Now, in your journey, what other successful CEOs like yourself would you like to acknowledge here and now and should be on my podcast?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. I think that you have chosen a very good format, which allows a very good balance in both between personal attitude and also the ability to provide some professional insights. And what is important is that people from different kinds of businesses and different kinds of activities, those who have been successful by definition, and you can be successful anywhere, not only in particular business line, have an ability to share their minds and to share their experiences with the public. So well done.
Okay, very good. Now for the final question. How do you celebrate a win?
Well, I'm a passionate fisherman. So for me, the answer is very obvious. If something good happens, it means a very good fishing session for myself. That's a short one.
Yeah, that's quite a unique response. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, I'm Russian by origin, and it's quite common in Slavonic nations to do fishing. So.
Indeed. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on today. How can people find you?
Sorry?
How can people find you?
Well, presuming that we do quite a unique thing with regards to particular reason, I think that we are perfectly Googleable. It's just name of the company, Phoenix CRetro, or something to do with insurance-linked securities plus Eastern Europe.
Okay, very good.
That's it.
Well, this is Earl Amin with the 2024 Side Podcast. For more insights, go to LinkedIn and search for the Gray Owl Company. Kirill, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Earl.